Recording. So, hello everyone. Today I'm with Cynthia, my dear client. We have just completed 4 months of coaching together inside the Unstoppable You program, which is my flagship program. And I just wanted her to share about her journey with me and what has happened in the last 4 months. Where was she before that? And if she has any insights for you, so that you can also include those tips and tricks into your life to feeling more confident. So, Cynthia, tell us first of all, where are you joining us from? And how are you today?
Right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am actually in Vermont in the US currently for work, and I'm doing well. It's my day off, so I'm grateful for the beautiful sunshine, and I can't wait to spend some time outside today.
Amazing. And yes, tell us where were you before we started working together and what has changed since then?
So one of the biggest reasons why I decided to sign up for your program was the messaging around people pleasing. And it wasn't necessarily because I identified as a people pleaser, but I think you also talked about health challenges that you had gone through. And for me, I had um, a long history of health challenges. But I also thought that the way I was showing up as far as relationships and people pleasing and things like that was impacting my health. So that was one of the main reasons why I signed up to work with you. And through our work together, I think what became clear was that, yes, those issues around how I was really, I think it was more so managing my emotions, like not necessarily like being comfortable with the quote unquote bad emotions. And that was stopping me, even though I like I didn't necessarily I didn't necessarily agree with the way I was showing up in relationships, right? Like it was there was a block between what I was feeling and how I was acting. And so that's one of the biggest shifts for me that occurred during the program.
Mm-hmm. Um, are there, okay, so can you give us an example of how, because I remember this specific moment and it just made my heart so happy when you said that I'm going into this interview and for the first time I'm not thinking about will they like me and I'm thinking about will I like them. I think that was the biggest, I felt like, okay, my job is done. So do you have any other example to share where you felt like, okay, this work and I think healing journey has become this new trend where everybody's working, trying to fix and I really feel there's nothing to fix. We just need to remember our power. So yeah, is there anything that happened where you're like, oh my God, this shift has happened? Like really?
Yes, there are a few. I mean, that one was a beautiful one, and I would say this was a different scenario because aside from, I think more than people pleasing, I had this big conflict avoidance issue. Like I was basically very conflict avoidant, and that was just based on my conditioning. So I had an incident at work where I had because I travel for work, I have food, I bring food from home and I have limited spaces where I can store it. So I put it thankfully the job I'm at has a freezer. And so I put some of my food in the freezer and one day I walked into the kitchen and I wasn't even like thinking about it, but I saw like the some of my bowls of frozen food on the table and they had melted. And it took me a while to realize that they were mine. And I was just filled with, this kind of anger. Like, why would, that boundary had been crossed? Like, why would somebody do this? And past me would have been like, oh, maybe I shouldn't show that I'm upset and not say anything, or I would find ways to like justify it, like justify not saying anything and or justify their actions, like, okay, maybe this, that, and the other, so things like guilt and shame would have taken over. Like maybe I shouldn't have left my food in there long enough, like too long, maybe it was me and things like that. And no, at some point when after I saw it, I definitely took a moment, which is what we had also worked on, is like took a moment to actually get clear on what the issue was, what the boundary violation was. And then I went to speak to whoever appropriate person to speak to about the issue. And yeah, that was after I did that, I was like, oh my gosh. I think I messaged you almost immediately to let you know that that had happened.
Yeah.
And I showed up in a way that was different from how I would have shown up in the past.
Yeah, yeah, and that was an amazing moment, another amazing moment, and it reminds me of other moments too. But let's not get into a lot of examples. Yeah,
But but real quick, let me even say that just me being on this live, knowing that it's recorded, like I don't have any in the past, I would have had like some feelings trying to not be like authentic and everything. But as you can see, whoever is watching this, as you can see, I'm pretty like I feel pretty comfortable and like those nerves are not there. So that's even like a testament. Being on this live call is a testament to the work that we've done together.
yeah, yeah. I used to be, I mean, whenever I used to go on stages, and it was expected of me to, because I was a good student, people would expect me to be a good person who would like debate, and every time I would go on stage, I would be sweating my hands off, like literally sweats would be dripping. And for me to also be sitting here is also a testimony to the work that I have done. So kudos to both of us. Yay.
Yes.
Yeah, it has been such a pleasure to work with you. Tell us, I know that you've worked with other coaches, other people as well. So, what was that like? What do you think didn't work before working in this program? Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things is that your lived experience allowed me the belief, right, to plug into this work because also gave you this ability to hold space. So it's not a thing of like I think when people say hold space, they're just going for somebody who's just going to be a yes person and parrot whatever they want to hear. And what I'm saying or what I experienced is that there was this compassion that you came with and you led with, which was basically saying, I've been there, I've experienced these things, and I've experienced these shifts. And and with that, you were able to like bring out the tools, like whether it's just tools or the cognitive work, the words to allow me the transformation that I needed. So I think that was one of the major things that is typically or was lacking in the past with some of the other people that I had worked with. And the other thing is some of the other programs, and I think I told you this. I always tell everybody when I work with people is some people are just very module heavy. So it's like you got to go read this module and do this to be able to get the transformation. And when you're already feeling sick and just don't have the capacity in your body to sit down and read and assimilate things, it doesn't translate into the transformation. So a lot of our work was on the call experiential, like within the hour we're doing the work to do the shifts, like lots of like meditation and energy work to bring about the transformation. So that's what I think made a difference here.
Yeah, yeah. And I also, again, because life is always happening, right? Like if I'm going to spend 1 hour with you and then 10 hours again doing the work myself, then it just drains me even more. And I really believe that healing needs to be fun. Like all the things that we've gone through are so serious enough that if I make healing also such a big task, then there's no point, right? Then I'll need to heal from this healing thing that I'm going going in with. So,
Right.
okay, if somebody is at the precipice of, should I work with the Shani or not? Do I work with the Shani or not? What do you want to, is there anything that you'd like to tell them? Yeah.
You should do it. Absolutely. I think for one, the value for the money, and I hope you don't mind me saying this because one of the things that's an issue in the coaching industry is that sometimes it is cost prohibitive. One thing that I realized, and this is just my innate intuition, was that look, just as long as there are people that are doing the work and are authentic and are real, um, like because and what I'm trying to say is that you're far younger than I am, and you are in a different country than I am in. But it's one thing I did was to recognize that you have done the work, you're on the path, and you're authentic. And it's not that I'm just giving my money to anybody else. And sometimes being from the US, some of these coaches can be very expensive. So I think one, like you are valid, you're authentic, the work does speak for itself, like the transformation is there, and it is a way to, I guess it's like outsource the healing work to somebody who's done the work, and you don't have to break the bank in the process. So I would say absolutely it's a no-brainer, because you will go from point A to point B in whatever time frame you work with the shani, and you'll find it hard, because I find it hard to almost look back and see the Cynthia that I was when we first started working together 4 months ago. But yes, the transformation is sure to happen if you do the program.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. What are your favorite tools and some things that you want to share with people who are like, you know what, I cannot enroll in a program right now, but I would want to know what worked for you. So maybe two, three things that you can share. Yeah.
This is a great question. It's so funny, and I, because I'm a physician, we didn't mention that, but yesterday I had a patient and I actually gave her this tool. It is dump dumb thoughts dump. It's always a
Yes.
tongue twister. I had to write it down for her, but that's my favorite one. Just getting stuff out on paper helps to just start to shift things. And then I especially enjoyed a lot of the uh, breath work meditations that you gave me to do. So I like that. And then let's see, there were also other like the what's it, the nighttime routine where I kind of like progressively relax my muscles. Um, those
Yeah.
those tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. Last thing. What is that one big shift that you have realized in your identity within yourself that has happened um, in the last 4 months?
I think that one thing that I knew before was like, okay, emotions and messages, but I've come to know it even more. Um, and so every expression of myself is powerful. And it's not something that I push away. Instead, I lean into it. Like when I feel like sensations in my body, I lean into those and then try to gain the information that this messenger is trying to tell me.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for trusting me with your journey. I really enjoyed thoroughly working with you. And I'm so glad that we're continuing this journey for another year. So, yeah, I'm so excited for the rest of our journey. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, whoever is listening. So, thank you.